was given on Rosh Hashanah, on the Rosh Hashanah before Rabbi Nachman was nifter. So we're talking about Baruch 3 weeks. Well, approximately 3 weeks, a little bit less than 3 weeks before he died. And the Chassidim see this Torah of Tinyana Ches as Ki'ilu, it's the Savah, the last will and testament of Rabbeinu Zal. It's the last Torah that he said, Birab, B'tziva. And it contains within it a tamsis of who he was and of what he was trying to give to the world. It's long, it's difficult. I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to learn it. We're not going to go through the Torah. The inyanim that Rabbi Nachman discusses in Tinyana Ches, Tefillah, davening, teichacha, guidance, how the leader teaches and guides the people, nevuah, emunah, tshuva, refuah. He speaks about the koach hareah, which is the lungs. He was dying of tuberculosis. He speaks about the koach of breathing of the lungs, koach hamadama, imagination. The power of imagination is karvus l'tzadik. The importance of being attached to the tzaddik, nisim, miracles, hashgacha pratis, Eretz Yisrael. And it's, of course, all one absolutely breathtaking ishtalshalos of bechinas, amadregas, from beginning to end, which itself would take us a long, long time if we would learn it inside and to learn it properly. As usual, Reb Nosson, before he begins his Torah, Reb Nosson gives a little bit of a taste of what was the basis of his Torah. So we'll just read it quickly, the words, because unless it's learned in the context of the entire Torah, the words make very little sense. Because as I said, it's a histalshalos, it's a binyan, it's a building, and it has foundation and floors and rooms and all kinds of doors coming in and elevators and exits and entrances. It's unbelievable. And Nosson just gives us a little bit, some words that he expects us to know in context, which we do or we don't. Some do, some don't. But we don't have to learn the Torah ba'omek. We could touch upon some of the points in Rabbi Nachman's Torah in order to understand what Reb Nosson is talking about. So let's begin. For those of you who have Likutey Halachos, Mr. Hashem, you bring it next time. To give a shkoyach to Yitzchak for preparing the pages. So Birchas Hareach, Birchas Haidor Dal. Boy born in Purim v'Arba Parshiyos v'Nei Pesach v'Sfiras Ha'omer. Al pi HaTorah tiku techacha v'Likutey Tinyonis Ches Ayin Sham Kol HaTorah Heitev M'Rosh HaSefer K'Advar Ma'arukim v'Amukim Ma'od. V'zeh Bechinas Purim Shu Mapelas Haman Amalek B'chol Dar V'Dar B'chol Adam B'chol Zman. Ibn Nosson is explaining that the war of Amalek revolves around davening, tefillah. A Jew has the ability to be a Bal Koyach, to be strong in his tefillah, not just the tzaddik. Rabbi Nachman talks about the tzaddik, the tefillah of the tzaddik, who is a Bal Koyach God, tremendous koyach in his davening. Rabbi Nosson, as he often does, brings this down to us of Amech Kulam Tzadikim, the koyach of tefillah, the power that a Jew has with his davening, and how, because of that, Amalek is extremely focused on swallowing up our tefillahs, on devouring our tefillahs. And Amalek does that in many ways. Amalek devours our tefillahs in many ways. The Bal Koach Gadol, the strong davener, has the ability to extract the tefillah from the throat of the Sitra Achav Amalek of Haman. the entire story of Purim and Pesach was the story of our ability to restore tefillah, to bring back tefillah, to cause the Sitra Achra, Amalek and Haman, Mitzrayim, to vomit out our tefillahs that get stuck in her throat. We'll see what that means. And as a result of that, when our tefillahs are redeemed, are brought out and are brought back, there's a hispashtus of kavod shamayim. Geirim come to be Megayir, Nevuah, Emunah, Refuah, Hashgacha, Eretz Yisrael. Now, what this means on our Madrega, Rabbi Nosson brings it very, very much down to earth. But let's just read a little bit of the words that he takes from Rabbi Nachman, because it's not right to skip Chalila, not to see, even though we're not going to understand out of context, but we should say quickly the words. K'mavu ba'atar hanal, she'ikar melchemes Amalek hu ha'idei ha'tefillah, bebechinas din shel ha'bal koach. Bebechinas din shel ha'bal koach, the classic Bal Tefillah, tzaddik slash Bal Tefillah in Chumash is Pinchas, where it says Vayamod Pinchas Vayipalel. It's a strange word, Vayipal, not Vayispalel, Vayipalel. The simple meaning of the word Vayipalel is that he disputed, he argued. He was defending, in his words and his actions, he was defending us. Now remember, there was a Magefa because of what happened. The Maisis Nus, with Zimri, and the whole Maisa that happened there. And things were not looking good for us. There was a plague, there was a Magefa. And everybody stood back. And nobody knew what to do, how to stop the Magefa. And the Torah says, Vayipalel, Vayamoid Pinchas Vayipalel. He disputed, he litigated. Plilim is a lotion of litigation, defending. Vayipalel. And the Chazal say that Vayipalel is a lotion of tefillah. It means a way of davening. And it means that the tzaddik has a way of davening on behalf of Am Yisrael. So when it says in Chumash, Vayamod Pinchas Vayipalel, that he was arguing and litigating, it means that in his tefillah, he was putting in all of the koiches that he had. He was the Baal Koach Gadol, tremendous koach of tefillah. And din of Kedusha to argue Kivyochel with Hashem, to represent us in this din of Hashem versus his people. It was a Magefa, we were dying. And Pinchas was successful in stopping the din, stopping the Magefa. So he is the prototype of the Baal Koach Gadol, the tremendous koach of his tefillah, of his davening. Now we'll see that later on with Esther and with Mordechai. This davening of the Baal Koach, of the tzaddik of the Baal Koach, of the powerful davener, the Bechinas Din, who has this ability, like Pinchas, to Kivyachal argue and litigate and defend other Jews and himself and so on. Now, the other side, the side of impurity, wants to swallow up this tefillah, does not want this tefillah to make its way to Shemayim, does not want this tefillah to be heard and to be accepted. So now normally, the Sitra Achra has the ability to swallow up a lot of davening, to devour our tefillahs. When our tefillahs are not said wholeheartedly, when our tefillahs are not said b'koach gadol, when our tefillahs are weak and meek, so then the Sitra Achra has the ability to devour our tefillahs. they're not effective. Our tefillas are rendered ineffective because the Sitra Achra, the other side, has this ability to swallow up our tefillas. But the tefillah of the Baal Koach Gadol, of the big davener, of the one who davens with koach, with din, like Pinchas, so the Sitra Achra tries to swallow up that tefillah as well. It's a powerful tefillah, and it gets stuck in the throat of the Sitra Achra. Obviously, this is a very deep in. You're not talking about Gashmias. The Sitra Achra cannot swallow this tefillah of the Baal Koach Gadol. He amedus la Sitra Achra b'veis habliya shelo. We always spend a week on each one of these sentences, just to again read the words, so we can learn the Torah from us. He amedus la Sitra Achra b'veis habliya shelo. So it gets stuck in the Beis Habliya, in the throat of the Sitra Achra. So instead of devouring and swallowing the tefillah like the Sitra Achra does so often with weak tefillahs and small tefillahs, instead of that, what happens is the tefillah of the Baal Koach gets stuck in the throat of the Sitra Achra. The Sitra Achra can't swallow it, and then the opposite happens. B'bchinas chayil bolav yikienu, the other side vomits, gets stuck, and the Sitra Achra convulses. Now, when the Sitra Achra vomits, so not only is the Sitra Achra unsuccessful in swallowing the tefillah of the Koach Gadol, but because of the tefillah of the Baal Koach Gadol, of the tzaddik, but because that tefillah got stuck in the throat of the Sitra Achra, and the Sitra Achra vomits, so all of the other things that the Sitra Achra devoured, all else that the Sitra Achra swallowed, Sitra Achra vomits, comes out, returns to the world. Like Rabbi Nachman says about V'es Chanal Hashem Be'esayid, that Moshe Rabbeinu, the tzaddik, has the ability to take tefillas, even though the tefillas of Bnei Yisrael might not be heard in the present, but the tzaddik has the ability to bring out the tefillas. So Be'esayid, they'll be heard at a different time, not right now. So this tefillah that Amalek, that the Sitra Achra is trying to devour, is trying to swallow, gets stuck. As a result of that, the Sitra Achra convulses and vomits out not just that tefillah of the Baal Koach Gadol, but all the davening, all the kedusha that the Sitra Achra was swallowing. Dahainu lahaki lahaitzi kol hakedushas vadas vatfilas rachmanis shabolam min hakedusha. There, Rabbi Nachman talks about tefillah with rachamim and tachanunim, rachmanis and das and molos deis Hashem. We're not going to go into that right now. It'll come up a little bit later. So hakol tzricha lahaki. The Sitra Achra has to throw up everything. Because of this powerful tefillah of the tzaddik, they get stuck in the throat of the Sitra Achra. So now the Sitra Achra doesn't only throw up kol ma shabolam min hakdusha. The Sitra Achra, the guts of the Sitra Achra, the kishkes come out. Avgam atzmus chiyusa himuchraches lahaki, the very vitality and life force and chiyus of the Sitra Achra is vomited up. I'm sorry to use that word so often. Hope it doesn't make you nauseous. Bebchinas mi bitna yerishena kel, comes out from deep in the belly of the Sitra Achra. All of the kedusha, all of the davening, all of our efforts to be better, all of our over this taivas, our mitzvahs that were done without ahav and without yira, all of the unsuccessful davening and mitzvahs and Torah where we weren't ourselves able to bring it up, so the Sitra Achra was swallowed all of that up. But now the Sitra Achra is sick. and it's throwing up, and through that all the stuff comes out. And now look what happens. All of a sudden there are Jews that weren't Jewish before. They're Gerim. There are people going that convert because of this unbelievable outpouring of Torah and mitzvahs and tefillas and kedusha that was sitting in the belly of the other side. So the very chiyus of the Sitra Achra. So you have people who are all the way stuck in the Sitra Achra. They were goyim. They were far away, like Yisro and like Ruz. And throughout all the generations, far, far, far away from kedusha, deep in the belly of the Sitra Achra. And now the Sitra Achra coughs up and vomits out all of this. So they're Gerim from far away. We know even Bnei Banav Shel Haman, right? Chazal tell us. Tanoim, Amaroim. These were Jews that originally they were stuck in the atzmos of the Sitra Achra. They were mambish in the darkest dungeon of the palace of the Loitov. In the darkest dungeon of bad, of Ra. But when the Sitra Achra is having a bad day, and everything comes out, so then it's like all these doors open up, and all these neshamas are like running wild. There's like a hysteria of kedusha in the world, and there's a hispashtus of kedusha, and there's Gerim and Balit Shuva. And Nassim talks about Gerim and Balit Shuva and all kinds of his service by Jews. V'achshav chayzun al kedusha. There's like mad dash back into the world of kedusha, like they got free from jail. All the tefillas, all of the Hurei Tshuva and all the Torah and everything, these that were locked up deep, these Gerim, the doors open and they all make a break. They run out. Everything like runs out. And then there's this Rabbe Kvod Hashem, like you see by Purim, Rabbe Me'amei Haaretz, what? Misyahadim. That by Purim, the aftermath of Purim was Gerim. Rabbe Me'amei Haaretz Misyahadim. Misyahadim. Where do you have such a word? Lehisyahed. Misyahadim. To become Jewish. Haman is hanging, and everything is vomited out, and Rabbi Me'am Haaretz Misyahadim. So instead of Lahashmid Laharg La'abed, there are more Jews, more Yiddishkeit, and not only that, but people who weren't Jewish. Rabbi Me'am Haaretz Misyahadim. There's a tosefes and a ribuy of kedusha and tshuva. Rabbi Me'am Haaretz Misyahadim. But there's in this Rabbi Kvod Hashem Yisborach. More Kvod Hashem. So now that there's a hispashtus of Elokus in the world, there's an Imshuch Nevuah. So Elokus there's this powerful presence of Elokus in the world, makes Nevuah accessible. Nevuah, prophecy. These connections are made, of course, in Likutey. We're not going into it now. Which brings to refuah, all kinds of healing, all kinds of Yeshuas. The power of imagination, which fuels prophecy, is liberated, is freed. And there's a tremendous explosion of faith in the world. Because Seichel is not the source of Amunah. The Kacham Adam and Nevuah. That which the mind can't comprehend is the sherish of Nevuah and of Amunah. Which the mind can comprehend, that's Seichel, that's Sichlius. Proofs that God exists through nature, through history, all that stuff. That's not the Pneumius of Amunah. That's why people whose Amunah is based upon proofs and and philosophy or history and stuff, that the emunah is very, very, very weak. It's very empty, and it could be easily uprooted. Somebody comes along with a better proof that, like this or something else. It's not the shurish of emunah. Can these things be used to strengthen emunah? Yeah. To in some way to be ma'ayir emunah, yeah. But the shurish of emunah, the root of faith, is the koach madama, is something higher than seichel. It's holy imagination. It's prophecy. We're b'nei neviim. B'nei neviim, we're the children of neviim, means that we have in us a koach that's higher than seichel. That's nevuah. Even though we don't have nevuah now, mamish nevuah, but b'nei neviim means, like the Piasetzner explains, like a bentar, that we have a chush of something higher. All of us. We don't have nevuah, but we're b'nei neviim. We have a chush. We have inside of us a lakus, we have nefesh elokis, a chelik elokami mal mamish inside of us. So we're not restricted to seichel. So with this hispashtus of kavod shemayim, of elokus, so nevuah and koach hamadama brings to an explosion of faith in the world. Also, Rabbi Me'am Haras Mesyadim, the Sfarim say, is not only talking about goyim who become gerim. It means Jews who are misyahadim. Jews who didn't believe before, who had trouble believing, they're misyahadim. They become filled with Yahadis. The Yiddishkeit, the Emunah, strength is strengthened. V'zoichel Emunah shleima. U'b'shvil zeh tzricha levakish me'Hashem's baruch ma'od. And because of this, we have to always daven and ask Hashem to try to draw near to the true tzaddikim. Those are the true Baalei Tefillah. Those are the true Baalei Koyach Shel Tefillah, have the true Koyach of Tefillah. He called tzaddik amiti yesh lo bechinas ruach nevuah. Every true tzaddik has a bechina of ruach nevuah, ruach hakodesh. Doesn't mean to say he's a mamish anavi. We don't have nevuah now, but it's a bechina of ruach nevuah. Like it says by Kalev in Yeshua, ruach hacheres, isha she ruach bo. Ruach hacheres. A tzaddik is a ruach hacheres. It doesn't mean he's necessarily a navi mamish, but it's a ruach hacheres. In the tzaddik, the koach of ruach hakodesh, that ruach hacheres is very, very strong. Very strong. It's bordering on nevuah. It's very strong. We all have that in us, but in a weaker state. But the tzaddik has in a very, very powerful way. This ruach hacheres, haise imo, isha she ruach bo. A navi is a different. A tzaddik rather is a different ruach. It's something else. And shayidezeh ikar beira hamadama, and through that, through the tzaddik's ruach, there is this rectification, this clarification, this perfection of imagination of the medama, shayidezeh ikar hamunah, through which is the ikar hamunah faith comes from. Shetluya bebeira hamadama, that depends upon this bira of being of the koach hamadama. Again, not seichel, beyond seichel. But it's not easy to get close to the tzaddik amiti. Rabbi Nachman says, remember this right before he died. So you have to go after him and search for him. Ma'od, ma'od. And it's very easy to be taken in. There might be somebody who looks like he's a tzaddik, but he's not really at all a tzaddik. And it could have the opposite effects. One's faith can be more damaged by being connected to the manik she'eno emes, to the leader who is not emes. He might look like he is, but he's not. That can cause a damage to faith. And it could bring to all kinds of strange superstitions and strange beliefs. In other words, a kilkel of the imagination. So, strange emunas and strange beliefs, like by Shabbos Tzvi and Machshama, by other such people, and by the Notzri, by Christianity. It was strange. Emunas Kaizvi is strange emunas. Christianity is a bilbul, strange emunas, very strange emunas. Those through the Manik She'ena Amiti, through Eisa Ish, through the Notzri who was a Navi Sheker, Bechina of Navi Sheker. It's a kilkel of emunah. So emunah was terribly damaged by that person, by Eisa Ish, by Yeshu. The emunah was very, very badly damaged. Damage doesn't mean that it led to atheism. It didn't lead to atheism. It led to kilkulim and emunah, strange emunas, which the Rambam says is still, in a certain way, better than paganism. Still better, a step higher. It's moving towards emunah, but it's emunah's kaizvi. It's like all kinds of strange things, narishkeit, mixed in. So it doesn't mean a disappearance of faith, it means a distortion of faith. Christianity, Islam are great distortions of Emunah Yisrael. It's not atheism, they're big believers. But their beliefs are beliefs that are strange, they're modern, strange Emunah's Kaizvius, with all kinds mixed in with superstition and paganism, all kinds of Avodah Zaras and Narishkeit mixed in, a father and a son, with all Amish, strange things. So that can come by being attached to a manik she'eno amiti. It's a bechin of a navi sheker. So it's not easy to become attached to the true tzaddik. Haken sich l'chapes l'vakish ma'oid l'spal Hashem yisborach harbe ma'oid. She'yiskel l'skarv l'tzaddik amiti she'yesh lo b'chinas ruach nevuah. Remember, Rabbi Nachman is begging the Chassidim before he dies to be careful. The Ma'aseh, they were never satisfied with anybody they found afterwards. Nobody ever cut it for them, for the rest of us. She'yizkel eskar le'tzadik amiti she'esh lo b'chinas ruach nevuah. Ruach nevuah. Ruach hacharis. Ruach hacharis. Rabbi Nachman is a ruach hacharis. It's the ruach hacharis. All the tzaddikim, Rabbi Nachman is a ruach hacharis. Anybody that ever learned Likutey Moharan, it's just a ruach hacharis. It's not. You never learned anything like it. It's a ruach hacharis. Rabbi Nachman's whole Metzias was a ruach hacharis. Kadei she'yisbarach hamadam shalai. Kadei she'yizkel emunah shleima, to come to emunah shleima. Perfected, rectified imagination, which strengthens emunah, faith. Because faith feeds not on intellect, but on that which is beyond the intellect, imagination, and kedusha. And through that, we're zeicher to believe completely in chiddush ha'olam, in creation. Yesh me'ayin. That something wasn't, and then Hashem made it. There wasn't. Yesh me'ayin. The world wasn't. There was nothing. Chiddush ha'olam. So you think, we all believe in chiddush ha'olam. That's what we say this every Shabbos, and we believe in chiddush. Hashem created the world. But there's something missing in our emunah. Because if we would believe in that entirely, it would be like what the Tanya says in Yeshayich Emunah. We would believe every single moment of our lives that we could start again, which Rabbi Nosson talks about. And we don't believe it. We believe that we're stuck someplace. That there's some sort of a mahalach, not hischadshus. To come to believe be'emes in chiddush yesh me'ayin, chiddush ha'olam, like the Tanya says, every split second. Dvar chelakid nitzav b'shamayim is bria yesh me'ayin, every second. Lahamin she'Hashem yisborach baras ha'olam yesh me'ayin hamuchlat, yesh me'ayin hamuchlat, from nothing. So if we would believe in that completely, we would believe that even though A minute ago I was mamish nothing. I was in the lowest nothing. But this minute is a completely new minute. I'm not meshubit to what was yesterday or a minute ago. Bechlal not meshubit. So we're not talking about something simple, just chiddush. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, of course I believe God created the world." Everybody believes God created the world. We're not just talking about that He created the world Tavshin Ayin Zayin ago. I mean, this second, chiddush ha'olam, everything's mischadish yesh me'ayin. Of course, and the meaning of that is that I can be mischadish yesh me'ayin. That I'm not old, I'm not stuck. Which the mind, the intellect cannot comprehend. The mind can't comprehend. So any book that's written or speech that's given about emunah, and it doesn't come to this madrega, it's all the shetach, it's just the surface. It doesn't make a difference how philosophical it sounds and how fancy the words are, talking about the emunah based upon philosophy or history or science or math. All of that is shetach mamish, is the surface. It's not the pnimius of emunah. Pnimius of emunah is yesh me'ayin, is chiddush ha'olam, is chadshus, koyach ha'madama. Comes from the deepest place. That's ef shalahasik b'shum seichel. B'shum seichel. Kim al yidei emunah levad. Kim al yidei emunah levad. V'yidei zeh yeh chiddush ha'olam shalos. And through our emunah in chiddush ha'olam, in yesh me'ayin, there will be a new world in the future. By Mashiach will be a new world. We are the ones that bring to that a new world. V'chiddush ha'olam yeh b'chinas Eretz Yisrael. And the chiddush ha'olam will be b'chinas Eretz Yisrael. The whole world, whatever that means, Eretz Yisrael. We just see Eretz Yisrael as a place that you can go to. We don't see Eretz Yisrael as a bechina, as everything. We just see it as a particular, specific spot on earth. Ki ikar kedushas Eretz Yisrael, ha'yidei koach ma'asav higi la'amah, that goes back to what we were learning last year. Koach ma'asav higi la'amah, the first Rashi in Chumash and Bereishis. Kamash Pirish Rashi al pasuk Bereishis. Koach of Bereishis, of Eretz Yisrael, of Koach Masav, of how the whole Sefer Bereishis is to just, Rashi says, is just to tell the story of how Eretz Yisrael belongs to us. And for that's the whole Ma'aseh Bria. The whole story of Chiddush Ha'olam is to say that Eretz Yisrael belongs to Am Yisrael. That by knowing and believing that Hashem Yishbach created the world from nothing. And that there's going to be a hischadshus of all of creation, which is the Bechin of Eretz Yisrael, which is Sefer Bereishis, which is the story of Eretz Yisrael, of Am Yisrael and Eretz Yisrael. Bereishis is the story of Am Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael. It's not pshat that the world will be better, will be different, will be nicer. It'll be a chiddush. As kol olam kulu b'chinas zu shel Eretz Yisrael, because yedu b'chol olam she'Hashem Yisbarach bar hakol, and everybody and everything will know. Yeda kol yitzur, yeda kol pool, everything will know, and everything will be conscious of that Hashem is bar hakol every second, that the infinite light of Hashem is entering in to give life and vitality to its existence. The whole world will know that, will feel that. Then the whole world will be filled with miracles. The Hashgacha that we see, Eretz Yisrael will be the whole world. Because the Hashgacha of Eretz Yisrael is all wonders, it's all miracles. The Hashgacha of Eretz Yisrael is all miracles. Even the biggest kaifa has a problem explaining what Eretz Yisrael is about, and how it's possible that there's still such an Indian of Eretz Yisrael and Jews in Eretz Yisrael. The Hashgach of Eretz Yisrael it's a pell, it's a wonder. B'chinas, as it says in Chumash, Tamid Einei Hashem Elokecha Ba, that the eyes of Hashem are continuously upon Eretz Yisrael. V'az Yita Shir Chadash, and then there will be awakened a new song. Shir Shal Neflos, a song of wonders. B'chinas Shir Pashut Kofel Meshush Meruba, that the Zohar talks about. I'm not going to go into now. The song that consists of Shir Pashut Kofel, double, triple, 4 parts. Shul Kol Shal HaMachiach Emes, whose Mashiach will bring the whole world back to Hashem, which the Torah begins Tikkur Teichacha with the tzaddik who's able to bring others to return to Hashem. The voice of the true leader, who's Mashiach Machiach HaEmes. Sha'idei Zeh, who noisen ve'ach toiv b'han neshamas, ha'idei teichachta, and the neshamas that before did not smell good, now will have a beautiful smell. Through the tzaddik, through Mashiach's teichacha, through his rebuke, meaning his teaching. B'chinas nirdi, nosan reichel, that will be brought all of the fragrance, the wonderful smells of the garden. This goes back to what we were learning earlier this year. Then we will be nourished not by the muzzle of the body, but by the muzzle, the nourishment of the soul. Which is the beginning of reach, of fragrance, not something coarse and physical. It's a long, complicated Torah. Rabbi Nosson says, look, hativ, to learn it. Because they are the words of Rabbeinu. Every word is mamish like burning charcoals of fire. Yordam ad imke tohaim, that descend to the deepest depths. Lahalis nefashos meber shachas, and to lift up souls that are sinking all the way down to Be'er Shachas. And these souls can be brought to the highest heights through this Torah. Again, this was the last Torah that Rabbi Nachman said. So let's do a little bit. Aleph. Now we can understand a little bit. That for a Jew to give up hope, to be messianish, is absurd. Rabbi Nachman was so strong about this Indian. No matter what a person has fallen into, or Am Yisrael has fallen into, we can get out. And not only can we get out, but we can get out, and we can bring ourselves to a much, much higher place after we bring to this vomiting out, to bring out all of the chiyus that was stuck and that was swallowed in our lives. It could be brought out. Davke, as Rabbi Nosson explains, Davke, when a person felt that he was in a very low place. It's not for a person to decide whether or not at any particular point in his life he's hit rock bottom. It's not for one to decide. We should assume that we're right now at rock bottom. Don't wait for. Says, no, I could do worse than this. That's not a cheshbon that a person should ever have. I could do worse than this. The people that have such a cheshbonus, not allowed to have a cheshbon like that. Should assume this is bad. Right now, it's bad. This is rock bottom. Right now, it's rock bottom. Or yesterday. I don't mean right now, but yesterday, last week. Each person knows that was rock bottom. It's rock bottom. That's not. To say maybe I should wait because it could be worse in 2 weeks. Then I could be a bigger balshuva. Va'yirida tia tachlis aliyah. Then it will turn out that the Yerida is Tachlis Aliyah. Okay, just from that Yerida, all unbelievable things that he did, that the person himself never knew that he could reach such madregas comes davka from that place. Again, through this upheaval, this turning inside out, and the kishkas come out, and all kinds of amazing things come up. Va'akol b'koch hatzadik emes. All of this, of course, takes place through the koach of the great tzaddik. Sheyochel ispalel tefillah b'bechinas din, who's like Pinchas davens for other Jews. B'bechinas din argues and litigates and fights. Shu bal koach gadol. The tzaddik is a bal koach gadol. Tremendous koach is his tefillah. Tremendous koach. Big tefillah gets stuck by the sitra achra. Can't swallow it. It's too big. The tefillah of the bal koach is too big. This tefillah of the Balkar Godel gets stuck in the throat of the Sitra Achra, can't swallow it. Doesn't go down into this other side. It's how they can't be taken down. And the Sitra Achra is forced to throw up all of the Kedusha Shabola and all of the Chiyas and everything. Comes out, chul v'chul, like canal, like Rabbi Nachman explains. Now, v'afal pi shezeh inyan ein mishiyaka masnav lamad mulcham azoyis kimat tzadik emes agadol b'mayla ma'oid. Now, Rabbi Nachman seems to be talking about only the biggest type of a tzaddik who can wage war with Amalek, like Moshe and Yeshua, Pinchas, these kind of tzaddikim who can fight such wars. Shu bal koyach gadol, who has tremendous koyches. Shu batuach b'koychai, who is confident in his koyches, to go out to war with the other side. Shloi tuchel ha-sitra achel, if lo yosei, only this great koch, bal koch gadol, this great tzaddik who knows that the sitra achel can't swallow his koyches, his tefillas, but the tzaddik says, come on, to the sitra achel. No, start up with me. Come. Adrab, fight with me. That's what happened with Mordechai and Haman. Come, start up with me. You're picking on other Jews. And Mordechai is Yoshe b'Shar Malach, lo yichar v'lo yishtachva. That's what Mordechai was doing, right? Mamash in the throat of Haman. Mordechai was saying, "Oh, you're unbelievable, Sitra Achra. You're so strong. You're picking on all of my relatives, all my friends. Why don't you just try starting up with me?" That's what Mordechai was saying. Lo yichar v'lo yishtachva. So everybody else is bowing down to you. They're all afraid of you, and you're swallowing up everybody around you. So Mordechai sits there in the Shar Malach. There's lo yichar v'lo yishtachva. Come fight with me. That's what he said. Leave those people alone. Come start up with the tzaddik. So it looks like this. We're only talking here about the biggest tzaddik that can do such a thing. Who yoytze aydei tfilos of kol kedushas message achra, who could do such a thing? Ki tamid b'beis habliya shelo, the tzaddik that's able to get wedged in the throat of Ra, of the Sitra Achra, of Haman, canal. But then Rabbi Nosson now turns the entire Torah to us, which of course Rabbi Nachman wanted him to do. Rabbi Nosson says, Aval af al pi chein, nevertheless, the koach hatzadik hamiti nimtzeis b'chinasais gam b'shar b'china adam. This koach of the Baal Koach Gadol of the tzaddik is found in a more limited version. Gam b'shar b'nei adam, other Jews, not only the big tzaddik. Gam b'shar b'nei adam. Zeh b'chinas ma'ashon aroyim kam anashim, and haven't we seen many people shem rishoyim gedolim, mamish big rishoyim, kam rishoyim, who were doing all kinds of the worst averos for many years. V'oivim averos gedolos chamuras v'achmalas, doing crazy averos. V'achakach nisoyrim b'tshuva v'nasam ba'alei tshuva gemur. Then the misoyrim b'tshuva, and they become ba'alei tshuva gemur mamish, the biggest ba'alei tshuva. A whole and a half echo. Kamuva Kamamaisis Caleb Gemar Midrashim Shasoram Kamaiser Blazer Ben Dudaya and thus in Tzitzi. I'm assuming that you're all familiar with these stories from the Gemara. The people that were doing every affair in the world, and they became the biggest Balachu. I mean, we know people like that. This is very strange. One Avera brings to another Avera. When a person is spiraling down, what is it that could turn it around? It should just keep on going down. Avera is Gereris Avera. That's the Teva. And therefore, with every Avera, the person falls deeper into the belly of the Sidrach. So how does that happen? If every Avera brings you deeper down into the dungeon, into the belly of this, how is it possible to turn around? To do tshuva. It's possible. Not only is it possible, it must be, because in every Jew yesh neshama yikara, a precious neshama. Sheish la koyach gadol, it has gewaldige koyches. This is where we don't understand. That every single Jew has a neshama yikara, and therefore has koach gadol, tremendous koyach, like the Baal Koyach Gadol, to stand up and to fight against the other side. But that doesn't come to a Jew because of historical proofs in God, or because he likes the codes that he sees that every 50 words it spells his girlfriend's name or something. That's not where it comes from. Or from how beautiful science is, how the world is so beautiful. That's all good stuff. That's for fun. That's for chizik. Emunah, nevuah. The koyches of a Jew is a neshama yikara. Yesh la koach gadol lamad keneged yitzhar v'chelosav. That's the biggest chizik for shayvavim. If a person would understand that, would believe that. The koyach that he has to stand up and fight against the Yitzhar v'cheloisav kim lahayil karach l'adam lama connect the Yitzhar lahayil kadosh baruch hu nois Yitzhar, because if a person didn't have the ability to fight against the Yitzhar, Hashem wouldn't give him such a Yitzhar. His Yitzhar, whatever his Yitzhar is, everybody has different Yitzhar. Each person his own milchamas, but Hashem gave that Yitzhar to you. That means that He gave you the ability to vanquish the dragon, to fight against that. Hashem doesn't frame us. He doesn't set us up for failure. Chalila. She'ein mi she'yilay menias. There's no such thing as any Jew in the world. Ein mi she'yilay menias, who has menias, obstructions, Yitzharas, whatever, shelo yuchal lamed behem, that makes it impossible, Chalila, for him to fight against, to be able to resist. There's no such thing. Yeah, there's a tremendous tshuka, there's a tremendous koch that the Yitzhar has. It's very seductive, but va'ata timshal boy, you will rule over it. Hashem says it to every Jew. You will rule over it. V'ata timshal boy. Im tirtze, like Rashi says, tisgarbalov. If you want, that's the key. If you want to use the koyach that you have, tisgarbalov. Guaranteed you're going to win. Not only are you going to win, you're going to bring out much more. All the stuff that was in prison, in jail, the doors are open, it comes out. Just one more sentence. Al kein tzrichin ladas lahamen. Therefore, one has to know and to believe. Shebevadai kol echad ve'echad mi Yisrael. Every single Jew, afil ha'pachas shebepchusim, even the lowest Jew in the world, which Chalila, it's not any of us. I feel the lowest Jew in the world who Baal Koach Gadol has tremendous Koach. Lamed Keneged Yetzirah Shalom. Lamed Keneged, not just the Yetzirah Shalom. His Yetzirah, not. If I had his Yetzirah, I would be Metzliach. No, your Yetzirah. Keneged Yetzirah Shalom. The reason that we get stuck in all kinds of aveiros and taivas, that we get trapped, it's because of the narishkeit. So the Jew doesn't know his koich that he has. So this Torah of Rav Nosson is about teaching us what our koich is. And when a Jew understands and believes in that koich, nothing is able to stand in the way. Mamish, nothing. Okay, Mitzvah will continue next. We have a minion from Arab?